Hello,
Hey, what's going on, Nick? This is Chris. How you doing?
Chris. I'm doing well. How are you, man?
Good, good. I see you working on some deals out here.
I'm doing what I can, man.
Is that deal in
Trying
St.
to.
Louis or where is it at?
This one's in Florida.
Oh, okay. Now you said you have it under contract and a buyer told you something. What's going on with that now?
Yeah. I put a bid in on this thing. I want to say beginning of May, end of May, something like that. Um, and then it just kind of came back to me like a month and a half later. Um, an accepted offer. They went through a couple different offers that were higher than mine. So yeah, I went ahead and put a contract on it because I thought the numbers were there, and I still think they are, but it's still kind of slim. Um, so I've had a hard time finding a buyer, and I finally got somebody to come and walk it with me yesterday. Um, and yeah, they tried to make it work as good as they could, and they were just like, man, it's just not quite there. Um, so being that I had to put a bid in and I had to wait, it was on the market for like a month before they accepted non-owner occupant offers. Um,
Hmm.
and so, I had to keep following up with the agents and whatnot and making a plan and coming up with numbers and blah, blah, blah. And I, I walked through all this with him. And he's like, man, you have put a lot of work into this. So since your offer's not quite there, he's like, if you have to back out of this contract, if you want to, he texted me and asked me, is there a way for us to pay, I don't remember exactly his wording, but he asked, is there a way for me to pay you a finder's fee on this? And I said, well, I could probably connect you with my agent because the listing agent was not allowed to do dual agency, being a foreclosure. I could connect you with my agent so that she could write you up your offer. Um,
So this is a bank-owned REO or real estate owned. It's already been foreclosed on. It's on the market, and you put in an offer, and they accepted it. Am I getting that all correct?
yes, that's correct.
Oh, yeah. Those are tricky. That's why I like to get them before they get to this point.
Uh,
I want to go
yeah,
direct to seller. We don't want to deal with no agents and middlemen and all of this red tape. It's all problems. So, I mean,
right.
so you were asking about a JV agreement. What was that part?
Yeah, I was just curious because he was talking about doing a finder's fee. I didn't know if there was some kind of JV agreement or something along those lines that I should or would want to sign with him, or if I should just trust him to, if because he would put an offer in, and I don't think he would pay me for that. But if his offer was accepted, then maybe he would pay me a little bit.
So, what's
Um,
the number that your offer's accepted at?
Mine is at 100. I was trying to dispo it for 104 or 107.
And what does he want to pay for it?
He was saying, what did he say? Around 85, 90, I think is what he was saying.
Yeah, you can just
And which that
renegotiate
was
it
actually
yourself at
my
that
original
point.
number. What's
You
that?
could just renegotiate it yourself at that point.
I can't.
They won't go any
Um,
lower.
they will not negotiate. It's a HUD owned property.
Yep.
And yeah, my agent emailed them today about it, and they were like, nope, they will not negotiate. They'll just move on to the next offer.
So this, my friend, is why I stay 1,000 feet away from these types of properties because I don't like that sternness and red tape of it. Because this is the only kind of a
My
deal
last,
I've ever lost money on was on a deal just like this. I lost about $2,200 on a deal just like this. $1,000 in earnest money, another 500 in sewer lateral camera scoping, and all the other inspections that we do up front. So it was about $2,200 out of pocket on a house I never even bought because it had cracks in the sewer
right.
line and it was in fluorescent, and I did not buy. Same exact situation as you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I would just cancel it if it's. I mean, there's no way to really do. How are you going to do a JV agreement on that when you can't get it low enough for him to buy it?
Right. Well, that's what I was just curious about, if there was any kind of a agreement paperwork that would benefit me to have, like kind of locking in a finder's fee.
Well, there's nothing to lock in because you don't have it low enough.
Right. Well, no, I understand. He's saying if he were to put in a backup offer,
Yeah.
and I canceled my contract, and then they end up accepting his offer,
No.
then he would pay me a finder's fee.
Yeah, there's no such thing as that because you're not tied to the deal anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why I was curious about a JV or something.
Nope. Just got to get it lower. I mean, it's never low enough, as you probably know, dealing with cash deals. That's why I like creative deal structures where we can, buy them subject to and things like that. You have any others like that coming up that you got that can get creative with?
Nothing like that I have actually pulled the trigger on and made any phone calls with, because I've just been trying to I've mainly been spending most of my time marketing this one, trying to get a buyer for it, but it's not looking like it's going to work out. So
what's the let me see if I can pull it up. Is it online on the MLS or something? Or
yeah, it's on Zillow. It's if you're ready for it, I can give you the address. It's 6081 Silver Fox Drive.
Silver Fox. That sounds like one of them old ladies you be looking at.
I was surprised. It's a really nice neighborhood.
Yeah, so just looking at the property from the beginning, yeah, definitely needs some work. What do you think the ARV is on this property?
I figure it's about 230 from the couple of comps I come up with.
You say 230?
230, yeah, and that's what I sent it out. I made a contact with a buyer, a flipper, a long time ago, and I've been in talks with him for a long time. I sent it to him, get his opinion on it. He's like, yeah, it's a pretty close deal. It's the comps that I come up with are good, but they're scarce. There's not more than a couple in that area within a mile. They kind of ventures out to 2-3 miles.
Is that furnace messed up, or just open?
I can assume.
Yeah, it looked kind of rusty. It's probably got to be replaced. Yeah, you're looking at almost $50,000 in repairs, right? Is that what you came up with?
Yeah, I've been telling people 60 on the higher end.
Yeah, you got this wallpaper. Yeah, I mean the roof doesn't look bad. Look like something going on with the guttering, but yeah, that's the thing when you're dealing with these properties that are on market with agents. I'm just not a fan of them for this reason. They're too strict. They don't negotiate, and it's a circle that you never get by. Now, is this property or after repair value?
The buyer that I have been talking to most recently that walked in with me yesterday, they agreed with me on that price because they looked into them. But the only downside is you would have to add a bedroom and bathroom in the basement.
Is that a walkout basement?
No, it's not.
So it won't even count as bedroom because it's in the basement. There's no walkout unless you put an egress window.
There is windows.
Egress window.
Egress window.
Yeah, that's a bigger window than normal. It's almost big as a door.
Okay.
Yeah, whenever you're doing a basement and you're talking about making it an official bedroom, it needs to have an egress window or a walkout basement in the basement. So without that, it will not be a bedroom on that lower level. It could be a recreation or office space, but it will not be a bedroom. You can add an egress window, but most of the time it doesn't. So I'm pulling this up on another site now just to see what we can find as far as comparables. This is a 3-2 or 3-1. 3-1, and it's been up for since April. Oh wow, they're not gonna drop the price since. Well, they dropped it already, I guess, in their mind. If they let you get it for 100.
Yeah, like I said, they had 2 other offers ahead of me. One of them was above asking, and I believe the other one was at asking.
So I see one sold for $260. That was a 4-bed, 2.5, 6. That's a 3-bed, 2-bath, but it has 2 baths. Why does the computer keep freezing up? I don't know. I see one sold for $165, a 2-bed, 2.5 bath. Another one sold for $192. $192. Another one, let me see, what is it? And that just what I'm because I see some selling for 190, 199, and those are 3-bed, 2-bath, the real ARV. So if we took the ARV that I just made up, I said 180 times, what are you using, 0.7?
Oh, sorry, you cut out there for a second.
What are you using, 0.7? 180 times 0.7 minus, you say 50 in repairs? Yeah, you need to be about 80,000. Let's say 76 is what I'm coming up with.
Okay.
So yeah, that guy, when he told you 85, that was even kind of high, but it can be done.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, them numbers are just simply too high. Are you able to back out of that deal still or no?
I could, but now that I'm coming down to the wire.
Yeah, that's the only thing with that. You didn't. Oh, so you couldn't cancel before the inspection period?
Mm-hmm.
How long of an inspection period did you put?
I rolled the dice on this one. They didn't give me an inspection period, but when I read the contract, all I would lose was earnest money.
Was that $1,000?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll stay away from this kind of stuff, man. Get them real cheap or don't do them. Because I mean, it's too risky, and you don't want to be losing money in real estate. There's no reason to lose money in any deal. I don't want you losing. I want you winning.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm just learning my lessons. And like I said, I read through the contract very thoroughly so that I knew I wouldn't end up getting sued if I backed out of it or anything like that. But like they encourage us through the mentorship to get out there and make mistakes. So
yeah, but don't be losing money and making mistakes. Not like that, because like I told you, I did the same thing. So I mean, don't feel bad. I did that's the only deal I ever lost money on in real estate. Situation just like this, and I paid for inspections because I was actually going to buy the house. This wasn't a wholesale deal. I was buying this property, and it was similar numbers, similar area. But that when we looked in that sewer and saw all those cracks in that sewer lateral, I said, yeah, we're gonna have to pass on that because that's like a $15,000 fix.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to be fixing that out of pocket. So I'll take my $2,200 loss versus my $20,000 loss.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I don't want to take no losses.
Yeah,
but
ideally, no.
But other than that, anything else you're working on? Any questions I can help you with while we're here?
I was kind of just the one thing I've been kind of tossing around trying to figure out is like wholesaling a subject to. If I would, and I was talking to my transaction coordinator earlier. I made a contact with one of the top tier TCs, and I was just asking, if it was if I come across an on-market property that's been on for a few months or whatever, and they are willing to do subject to or whatever, would I have the agent write up the offer? And she said no. We would need to fill out certain creative paperwork, and that's when I would get the TC involved.
Yeah, the TC or transaction coordinator works the contract. So you have to have a contract first, and then they work the contract from there. But I'm going to help you out, Mr. Nick. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
You find somebody that want to do a subject to deal, you bring them over here. I'm your buyer, and we'll figure all that other stuff out really easily. That's not your issue right now. We just need a fish on the hook. Get a person that wants to sell and that's willing to do subject to. I'll help you structure the deal, and I'll probably even buy the deal. How about that?
Okay. Awesome.
We'll make it real easy for you. You ain't got to pay no TC, no $2,000 to do something, that for no reason. You know what I mean? You can, but it's not necessary unless you just like to spend money.
Right. Absolutely. That's awesome. Good to hear. I actually came across in this whole process of selling this house or getting rid of this house. One person, I had all kinds of people commenting and messaging me about it and whatnot, but one of the ladies I saw in her Buyers Club profile that she was asking about something about maxing out mortgages or whatever. Like she wasn't able to get more than 10 mortgages in her name or whatever. So I reached out to her and was like, hey, are you interested in taking over more properties subject to? And she was like, absolutely. So I had a good conversation with her and find out where she's looking to invest and what kind of, if she was looking for long-term holds or short-term rentals, that kind of thing. So,
well, that's the good thing about this call, Nick. Just know you're plugged in with the best. I'm your buyer. You don't even have to go through all that riffraff. You bring somebody that's willing to do sub 2. I'll help you close the deal and we'll get the deal to the finish line pretty easily. That's my whole portfolio was built creatively just like that. I never had any loans in my name. I don't go give blood, tax returns, W-2s, bank statements, mother's maiden name, and all the other stuff they ask for to buy real estate. I've been buying it since 2018, and I plan on keep buying it until I can't buy no more. So you find somebody else that's ready to do a deal. Pre-foreclosure is my specialty. I stop auctions. I do probates. Any of those funky deals, you get a fish on the hook, you make sure you let me know. We'll figure out the riffraff from there.
Okay, awesome. How do you feel about on markets, though?
I don't care about on market. Everybody gets that work. Real estate agents, title companies, they all get that work. Everything's, negotiable. I just bought one off market here recently that was on the market for 166 days in pre-foreclosure. That particular house needed no work, move in ready. And I'm like, what's wrong with this house? Why nobody want it? Well, he bought the house 3 years ago, so it has no equity. So a cash buyer can't touch it. I end up buying a house for $2,500 out of pocket. Gave the agent $1,500 and paid the closing costs. So I'm like, on a house that's been sitting on the market for all that time and nobody did anything with it. And I got that house cash flowing right now, making $3,600 a month.
Wow.
So,
making that much?
Yeah, well, that's what the rent is. The payment on the house is $1,200, but the rent is $3,650. So it's cash flowing almost $2,000. So this is what I do in real life. That's why I say all the people on the internet be talking and playing. I'm your buyer. You don't even have to be looking for them. If you find a creative deal, I'll buy it.
Okay, right on.
We'll cut all and trim all that fat, so you don't have to be looking for trying to figure out who can do what. This is all we do is buy creatively.
Awesome.
All right. Anything else I can help you with for today?
Not off the top of my head. All
right. Well, keep me in the loop. You get somebody else in the another fish on the hook, or you need help closing them or something. Let me know, because this is what I do. I'm a real closer in real life.
Okay. Good deal.
All right.
Oh, I did see one earlier that just because I came across it, but it's on market, but they said it already has a renter in it, but it's been on the market for over a year.
Have a conversation. Talk to them. See what's going on. All this starts with a conversation. I see data online, and when you start talking to these people and asking the right questions, you find out some of that stuff online is not what it appears. Or they might be willing to move out, or it might be a good renter. Who knows? I prefer them vacant, but we'll look at it. I never disqualify something off data. I disqualify something off a conversation. What are they willing to do?
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Other than that, I'll let you get back to your day. Thanks, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, absolutely. Thanks for your help.
All right, no problem. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. FutureCashflowClub.com. Do what you do. Be who you be. And I'll see you before you see me. I don't know what you've been doing. You been asleep? Let me wake you up with something. Straight up. Yeah. Allow me to reintroduce myself. I'm Chris Monroe. R to the O-E. I flip houses, rent cars, and make money. I'm not no motherfucker dummy. This how we...